Today's episode is brought to you by the smoldering ashes of my rogue Pluppy jersey.
Drop the beat!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Noon Podcast, the competitive Overwatch podcast. I am your host, the Blevins, and with me, as always, is Deathblow. What's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. How are you? Better you than me. Better you than me.
I guess so. We'll talk about it later.
Oh yeah, we will.
But you guys heard a little bit of it earlier in the beginning. But let's talk about something that's not depressing to me personally first. Let's talk about some housekeeping. So, we started it last month. We are doing a patron only giveaway, just a little something extra for the patron fans. The patrons, not patron fans. If you're a fan of the patrons, you're gonna get a. No, I'm kidding. Our patrons over at patreon.com/highnoonpodcast. If you are a patron, you are automatically entered to win our prize for the month. This month were these bad boys right here, these official Overwatch League decal stickers straight from BLIZZCON. And the winner chosen at random was, drumroll please,
knocking things off my desk.
Due to biting. Woo! Someday we'll have more sound effects. We have the technology. But due to biting, yes, you are the winner. Please send me a message somewhere. I'll be messaging you as well so I can get these to you. But congratulations. And thank you to everyone who is a patron. Again, if you guys are a patron for December, you're going to be automatically entered into our monthly drawing this month. Ooh, this one, I figured out what we're giving away this month, Death. I haven't even told Deathblow yet.
Oh, man.
You're going to just take a look at the stream right now and see what I'm holding.
In 3 minutes, I'll know what's going on.
In 3 minutes, you'll see what it is. But
is it the Kappa sign in the background?
No, that's not going anywhere.
Oh,
it's even better. And
it's going somewhere
themed.
when I steal it.
It's even better and Overwatch themed. Do you see it yet? Do you see what this is? Okay, I'm not going to hold out on the podcast fans any longer. It is an inflatable Reinhardt hammer from BLIZZCON. It is a BLIZZCON exclusive. It is potentially worth $10 trillion. I have no idea. It's not going to be this one. This one's mine, and it's inflated, and it has my spit on it. You don't want that one. I have another one that's not inflated and doesn't have my spit on it. But
yeah, that one's worth twice as much.
This one's worth millions and millions of dollars. But in order to be entered into that drawing, all you need to do is be a patron at any level from $1 to $1 billion. The $1 billion and $1 patrons are not entered, sorry. Head on over to patreon.com/highnoonpodcast and support the show that way. And speaking of supporting the show, we actually have some new iTunes reviews, which are in fact the greatest and best and most immaculate way to support the show. Death, what do we got for iTunes reviews?
Yes, we have a 5-star review titled The High Newt Podcast. It says, to make great pumpkin frosting, follow these simple, easy, and quick steps. Step 1, first take 2 cups of powdered sugar, 1 cup of pumpkin guts. Step 2, mix until texture wanted. Step 3, enjoy. I added step 3. I think it added a little something to it.
Yeah,
I don't work with that.
I enjoyed it. I step 3.
It goes on to say, the High Noon Podcast is an awesome podcast that tells you everything you need to know about Overwatch. I love it, and Blevins and Deathblow are hilarious. Liar. And Overwatch today, how about my memes? Aren't they pretty dank? I assume they know each other. I don't know. I'm not 100%.
Maybe it was Overwatch today.
Either way. Oh, it was Overwatch today?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
I don't know. Either it was him or they know each other a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure I haven't seen any of your dank memes. Rating giver, but I do, however, know that Overwatch today's memes are pretty dank.
Yeah, and if you want to start up a High Noon Podcast meme war on Twitter, tweet at us. I'm definitely down to see a good old fashioned meme off. But a little bit more housekeeping. I didn't really know where to classify this, but I wanted to talk about it at the top of the show. Big news for Overwatch. We're number one, boys. Woo! 2016 Video Game of the Year from the Video Game Awards. Overwatch.
Welcome, Blizzard. We're taking all the credit. Me and Evans for making this game.
Yes, the D&B. What was it? What was the thing we were talking about? The
D&B B&B is our business that we're going to partner on.
Yes.
It'll be good.
They must have went. The Video Game Awards must have stayed there because they definitely knew. But yeah, super awesome that Overwatch got video. I wasn't surprised at all. Like, what other game was going to get Game of the Year?
It's not the only award they won.
It's true. And this one was a little more controversial. Esports Title of the Year for 2016. I saw a lot of people getting upset.
My perspective, I'm happier about that than I am about Game of the Year. Because like you said, I kind of expected Game of the Year. Like, Blizzard just makes phenomenal products, so when they come out with a new IP, there's just bound to be a flood of people that are going to play it. So the numbers alone were going to, in my mind, whether the game deserved it or not, which it did, but whether it deserved it or not, it would probably have won that award just for the following it would have gotten out of the gate, unless the reviews were just terrible.
Yeah, it was also the only new IP that was nominated. Everything else was either like Uncharted 4 or Doom Reboot or something else 2 or something remixed Part 5. Like, Overwatch was the only new title, so that helped it too. So yeah, I wasn't super surprised. I was happy about it for sure. But the esports title was a little more surprising, a little more controversial. I saw a lot of people, like a lot of CSGO and League of Legends people and Dota people were tweeting about how it was rigged.
Okay, so the old games were still in there. Okay, that makes sense then that people want it.
It wasn't like new game this year that's also an esport, because that would have been not close. It was like, I don't know what the nominees were, but it was probably like CSGO, League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch, maybe HOTS.
I don't know why they're complaining about being like, your game is literally old enough that there's kids that have been playing it their entire lives. So just calm down. Just calm down.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the argument either way. Like, on the one hand, like, yes, in terms of like numbers and probably revenue and like a number of other like potential metrics, like, yes, Counter-Strike and League of Legends are probably, quote, bigger esports than Overwatch, but Overwatch League is the most ambitious thing we've seen in esports, period. So get Shrek.
Sure, and Grant, it's been so long since League of Legends was getting started as an esport and things like that. It's hard to know what their initials were, but I mean, we're talking about 100K tournaments, and we're not at like month 8 yet, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how many months we're at, but it's still well under a year. Like, it's a very young game, and the prizes
9 months right now.
So
we're coming up on 9 months because it was May, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Wait,
May? No, not 9 months. I'm an idiot. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 7 months. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
That's right. Not quite to 8 months yet, and it's growing in my mind faster than most games I can remember seeing come out.
Yeah, nothing has had this much esports gravitas this soon after release, I don't think. I mean, again, I don't remember. I don't remember League of Legends.
Yeah, we're not huge followers of the esports scene as a whole. Blevins more so than myself, but in my experience, which is limited, admittedly, it's taken off. Like, it's a thing. Don't be mad that people are calling it a quality esport, because it is.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, get Shrek'd. Sucks to suck. But the best thing about the Video Game Awards, the best thing about Overwatch getting Game of the Year was Jeff Kaplan's acceptance speech. Did you see this, Death?
No, I only saw the
it's
last name do the Game of the Year.
It's so good. It's actually worth it for me to find the clip and play it on the show. So
characters that were
okay, I'm playing. You can't hear it. It's only like 20 seconds long, but this is definitely worth listening to.
But as we got it on in the beta, the open beta, and then launch, the real heroes turned out to be our community. our amazing players. Our Reddit is one of the most amazing Reddits there is.
Shouts out Reddit.
We love our Twitch audience.
Shouts out Twitch.
Keep them out for Harambe, always.
So he goes, we love our Reddit. We love our Twitch. Keep them out for Harambe. Oh, so good. Literally shouted out Harambe during the most important award he ever has and ever will win. Like, literally greatest of all time, Jeff. That I'm clapping for that.
I didn't hear it, so it might have been good, but all I'll say is referencing Harambe would have been funny like 6 months ago.
Well, brought it back. Only he could bring back. Okay, I'm done. But let's move on and talk about. Literally dead meme. Let's move on and talk about what did we do last week. Death, did you do anything fun last week?
I mean, I wrote something, which is not nothing. So we made a decision here. Me and the Blevins are going to try to use our website a little more to try and reach some new listeners. So what I did was I started a blog tab on the website. So head on over to highnoompodcast.com/blog. I believe
/category/blog.
Oh, well, that's really unfortunate, but nonetheless.
Or just go to the website and hit the blog button.
highnoompodcast.com, hit the blog button, and you'll see there's an article up there predicting the meta for season 3. If you listened to last week's episode, some of that stuff was covered in there, as well as we're going to be writing to reach new listeners, so there might be some overlap. Keep that in mind. But there's also some new stuff in there. I go a little more in depth in the article than I was able to do, trying to share a conversation with other people that want to use their microphone too during the hour we record. So instead, I just monopolized all the time in text. Also, I'm going to be taking a look at the trade that we'll be talking about later on in another article coming very soon. I'm going to aim for once a week, but don't hold me to it yet. I'll let you know when it's confirmed once a week. I don't have a schedule or any recurring topics yet that I want to write about regularly, so I'm not 100% sure I can fill that quota. But hopefully, between the two of us, we should
get one a week. Yeah. I'm also going to be on a non-consistent basis, at least to start, pumping articles out too. So, keep an eye out for that. highnoompodcast.com. Hit the blog button. We will definitely be tweeting and all that good stuff about that as well. So, what did I do last week? Oh, I started playing Hearthstone again because Hearthstone is fun again. I don't know if it's because the format is better or if it's just because it's new or both, but I'm having fun. 4 days in, I'm already rank 10, so that was a pretty quick climb for me. I might even...
We gotta start getting in the chain here where we're sending deck lists to each other and stuff, because I picked it up a little bit too, because
the new Reno lock list.
Really, oh, that'd be
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just a really fun set. Like I really think it's a mix of all the things you were talking about, though. It's a really good one.
Well, a format where the stupid legendary pirate is the best card in the format is an interesting one to play, and a format where a card called Dirty Rat is a playable card is one that I want to be playing. So, and also Kazakus is one of the best cards, a card where you literally get to make your own spell. That card's pretty insane.
I do really want to try that.
Yeah, it's really good, and the most of the top tier control decks are playing Bran Kazakus as a legitimate strategy, not just a cute thing. So definitely going to want to keep playing. I might even make a legend push this month, which will be the first time in a while that I've done that. But I'm having a lot of fun, so I'm gonna keep on doing it.
He's never done it. He doesn't have the card back.
I do.
Show up when he's streaming and make him prove it.
Well, that is a good thing. You should show up to twitch.tv/theblevins and when I'm streaming Hearthstone, and I will show it to you. But let's move on to what did you guys do last week? And we're very proud to debut this new drop that Death made for...
Nope. That Overwatch Today.
Oh, that's right. Overwatch Today himself made that, but that Death...
I made the other new one.
Death made another new one, and also Death put it in the PowerPoint. That's all that matters to me. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the newest segment to High Noon Podcast.
Overwatch Today, meme of the week.
Oh my god, that's amazing. We had a couple of great memes from Overwatch Today. This week, We had one that was in response to Death's article about Reinhardt not being in the meta. It is a picture of Reinhardt holding up a finger and saying, this new meta could be Reinhardtless, and he says, hold the F up. And it also, notably, the Reinhardt has a very, very tiny face.
Yeah, it's a very, very small head there.
Yes.
The whole, like, I'm surprised they make helmets that small.
Yeah, it doesn't even, is his head like just crushed in there?
I want to know if Overwatch Today did that or if the image he found came that way.
I'm sure he will let us know. But
yes,
that was the honorable mention. The actual meme of the week, which apparently I'm making a thing now, is we have the CSI Miami guy just walking in front of an explosion, walking away from an explosion without looking, and it says, "We are just regular cool guys at High Noon Podcast." Of course, in response to our talk last week about not being really cool guys, who we'll actually be talking about in just a second.
I totally forgot where that came from.
Really cool guys.
Just thought, you know what? We are cool guys.
Remember?
But yeah, I totally remember the conversation.
You got.
I mean, I knew it was about something. I just couldn't place it.
Yeah, really cool guys. It would have been really funny if I also didn't get it. I just put it on there.
Just be like, so there's this fire, and it's
we
got
are
High Noon
regular
Podcast on it,
cool.
so we liked it and we retweeted it.
It sounds dumb enough. I probably said it.
Right. I think that was me though.
Yeah, I think it was. But again, Overwatch Today. Thank you so much for those, and you did it. You produce content for us without us asking for weeks at a time. You literally made the drop for us, and it paid off. You're on the show officially now with the
Overwatch Today meme of the week.
I had to play it twice. It works as an outro for the segment too.
So the official memeologist of the High Noon Podcast.
Yes, Overwatch Today, official Overwatch meme. Actually, just official memeologist of High Noon Podcast. Yeah. But let's move on to another regularly scheduled segment, which has yet another new drop.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Let's. I don't know how to introduce the drop. Eventually, the drop's going to be able to introduce itself, but I'll just say that we've got a new segment, or a new drop for a recurring segment. It's Tournament Talk. Yes, we got that. We got that whole team kill. But we are doing the Tournament Talk. Thank you, Deathblow, for making that drop. Thank you, me, for recording a piece of it. But let us know what you guys think of the drops. If you have any ideas for drops, all that good stuff. I like recording them. Deathblow may or may not like putting them together. I don't know, but I like recording them, so we'll make more if you'd like some more. But so we had a couple of tournaments. The EGF Rival Series, which I talked about a little bit before, was the college esports series that was two rival colleges would play each other in a best of three esport triathlon. So League of Legends, Overwatch, Hearthstone. A number of colleges played against each other in the normal heads-up rivalry series, and then the finals was played last weekend, and Stony Brook University ended up defeating Boston U in that. So congratulations, Stony Brook. You are the winners of the first EGF rivalry series. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this series build up. We have both been huge collegiate esports and collegiate Overwatch fans, even though there hasn't really been a ton of collegiate Overwatch that's happened. We've talked about at length that like college esports,
the idea of it.
Yeah. The idea of it is great. College esports is a very good way to get muggles to understand the importance of esports.
No mags, because we're NA, so it's no mags. Go see the new movie.
Okay,
but one thing I want to do is just give a.
I just got
special
out
shout
nerded.
What's that?
I just got out nerded. I got out Harry Potter nerded.
Yeah, you definitely do. You'll never beat me in a Harry Potter nerd off. It's not gonna
even
happen.
try. Like I usually just troll Harry Potter people
Yeah, that's fine. You can troll me. That's fine.
because I'm into that shit.
But I want to give a special shout out to Stony Brook University because I don't know how not to appreciate anybody, any team, anywhere beating a Boston-based sports team. And I
Especially
will
a New
just
York
carry
team.
that over into esports and whatever Overwatch team, and oh man, they better not get cool, Matt. Whatever Overwatch team ends up in Boston, that I hate you. I don't like if you get drafted by the Boston Overwatch League team, I hate you.
Just turn down the rights. Just turn down the rights. Become a free agent.
Might as well.
Yeah, we'll sign you. We'll sign you to High Noon Podcast Team.
Yeah,
We're looking
sounds
for
good.
4 more. Yeah, so huge shout outs there. We'll definitely keep you guys posted on any more events in that nature for collegiate esports from EGF, partner of mine. I've been writing for them for a while. I know Tyler and the gang that runs EGF quite well, and they're a good group of kids. They're not kids, so they're my age. I don't know why I call them kids. They're a good group of guys pursuing an awesome esports venture, especially collegiate esports. Like super excited to see that go off without a hitch. I did tune into the stream a little bit over the weekend, and it was quite nice. So definitely kudos to them. Kudos to Stony Brook for beating Boston U, even though I probably would have been rooting for Boston. But let's move on, mostly just because I know Deathblow would hate me for it. Let's move on. We saw the OGN Apex Finals finally come to a conclusion. We saw Africa Freaks Blue play against Envious, and well, Envious did envious things. They dominated 4-0.
Dumpstered.
Just
What was cool? You know what was cool about this event is we've been talking throughout the entire length of this one and the Apex event about how annoying it is to wake up in the morning and have a notification on your phone
From
you missed
Slasher.
a big tournament you wanted to see, right?
Always
great.
from Slasher at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, right. That's super awesome. I'm glad I missed that. I wasn't asleep this time because the finals were on Friday and I was busy playing ranked Overwatch and then ranked Rocket League all night. So I was actually awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I saw the sun come up Saturday morning watching this event. And it was really, really cool. First of all, there's a lot of interesting things about this. So we've talked about how there's no English stream and all that. So we were wrong. We know
There definitely is. I knew that there was English casters. I just didn't know where they were.
Yeah, we couldn't find them. And if you're making it hard to find, then I'm not going to look too hard. So, but I found them and was able to watch the stream, and it was a really high level of production value. But my favorite part about it was that only the commentary was in English. So you're literally like getting the amped up super commercials that come with an Asian esports broadcast, because they're putting legitimate commercials on there. Like, Intel was a commercial and they're in the middle of the rounds and stuff. Also, they brought out a Yellow Hat McCree to do a solo musical performance, and Team Envious played the craziest game of Jenga I've ever seen in my entire life against each other. And then there was like this super I always hate when Twitch chat uses the haha emote and talk about how cringeworthy everything is. Yeah. And they put out the cringeworthiest montage of the tower falling in Jenga and everybody's reaction as they knocked it over. And it was all dubbed over like Asian music. Yeah. And it was phenomenal. And just from a comedy standpoint of like, I don't know what the heck's going on here anymore. Like, it was just really, really entertaining. And it helped that it was 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm like giggly, super tired, like, overtired, goofy, and nobody was around to like laugh and joke around with. So I was just, all my focus was right here. But it was a really, really good performance. Obviously, Envy 4-0ing wasn't really even super close. I mean, there were points where, Africa didn't roll over completely, but they didn't put up a fight. This isn't one of those times where you're like, the score doesn't tell the story. It was a really good, no. The score
told exactly the story that needed to be told.
Just not going to be our match of the week.
No. The match of the week is actually the Yellow Hat McCree doing okay.
I'll include that in the post when I put up the match of the week.
So good. But last thing I want to talk about for that tournament is that Internet Hulk, we're calling you out, man. We want the interview, the winner's interview. I tweeted at you. I tweeted at you over Thanksgiving. You liked my tweet. I'm considering that a solid, law-abiding contract that you.
Yeah, it's a binding social contract, is what they do. You don't just
like
go around liking tweets all willy nilly just because you got mentioned in them. Now you're locked up.
Locked up. But in reality, we would absolutely love to have you on the show. But let's move on. We also saw the Alienware Melee. Where we saw Complexity, Cloud9, Immortals, and FaZe in the top 4. We saw Immortals beat Cloud9 3-2. That was an interesting one. I would not have guessed that going into and seeing that top 4.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a different one. Obviously, you expected Cloud9 to be there. Immortals always a contender. I mean, really, it's not a big surprise, but it's just probably not the one you would have you would have predicted going into it.
I would have picked either FaZe or Cloud9 probably.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely on the Cloud9 train, and it looked pretty good. Obviously, they didn't make it through the upper bracket, so I think they came into the finals down a game, which is a little unfortunate. I really, really hate that, but I get it for the kind of smaller tournaments, and it doesn't seem like the Alienware Melee would be a small tournament, but it really kind of is. You know, it played out during the week, which I think speaks volumes about the expected turnout of the viewers and probably is reflected in the prize pools, though I don't know off the top of my head what the first and second place prizes were. I do know what third place took home. Nothing.
Nada.
So,
they got a mention on the High Noon podcast.
Right? They
I don't even know which team got third, and I'm not going to look. So actually, you don't even get a mention on the High Noon podcast.
We said your name today, so
that's true.
That's good enough. And this is where we're going to get our match of the week from. It was a 4-match best of 5 or a 4-round best of 5 in the finals. I'm fairly certain. I actually haven't seen it yet, but it is a 3-2 finish. It was a really, really strong match from everything I've heard about it. It's the first time I've ever given you a match of the week that I haven't seen, so I'm excited to check it out. Make sure you do take a look on the website, highnoonpodcast.com. There's a VODs button, also a blog button. Check it out. Go share my article. But yeah, other than that, not a ton of really interesting matches. I really think these teams were kind of using it as a building. Like, we don't normally see Complexity enter the Alienware monthly melees. It's not really their style. But with all the big lands coming up, I really thought we were going to see a lot of people kind of trying out some new things. And I don't know that that's what we saw. I was hopeful of that. I think we saw more people trying to hammer down their tried and true 3 and 4 tank strategies, and then they're going to keep everything else into the scrims. I should probably stop getting my hopes up for anything new or innovative in a smaller tournament. But nonetheless, it was some quality Overwatch and a big caster team this time around, too.
It was.
We had Golden Boy, Whatface himself, was on the caster desk, as well as Ubershouts, ZP, Hexagrams, and Slasher. So they're definitely upping their game on the production side of things for the guys over at Gosu, bringing in some extra names. And Golden Boy is just really entertaining. I really like him around. I do still prefer my ZP and my Hexagrams for in the game, but I really like the banter and the shots taken between Slasher and Golden Boy.
Golden Boy is great.
And Slasher just has no chill, so he's just for being a console player, like at 100 miles an hour, and it's just great. So make sure you guys don't skip around too much if you go back and watch all the VODs from the tournament, as there's some good back and forth and jabs.
Definitely worth the overtalk this week.
Yes,
but I was going to do this transition, and it was going to be more seamless before, but I didn't think we were going to talk that much more. But I was going to say, speaking of teams hammering down their 3 and 4 tank combinations, you guys can also hammer down with us by being able to win this exclusive Blow Up Reinhardt Hammer. Head on over to patreon.com/HighNoonPodcast. Become a patron and automatically be entered to win this amazing Blow Up Reinhardt Hammer. I can't even fit it in the camera right now.
Well, it's Reinhardt's hammer. You shouldn't.
That's true. I'm feeling Hexagram's level of sellout right now, and it feels really great.
All I know is nobody laughs at a Blevins joke like the Blevins himself.
No one will ever laugh as much at my jokes as I do. It's just not possible, especially since I can't even finish them before I start laughing. But yeah, definitely check that out. This hammer is awesome. I'm pretty like, I feel pretty powerful brandishing it right now. I'm gonna have it. I'm just gonna hold it the rest of the show. But while
Next
you guys
time you're at your apartment, you're definitely just gonna get randomly bludgeoned with an inflatable Reinhardt hammer. I'm just gonna start hitting you with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
But as long as you scream hammer down when you do it, it's acceptable.
Right.
But also, guys, while you're over at highnoonpodcast.com, be sure to check out Deathblow's blog. We're both going to be posting more. Deathblow had a really great article on the prediction of the meta. Really great in the sense that we can look back to it and see how wrong you were later and chastise you.
Absolutely.
For it.
I'm already shaping up to not be right. So I don't think my reasoning's wrong. I just think the anticipated reaction to the reasoning is what I'm going to be wrong about.
All I'm hearing is I'm not wrong. Literally everyone else in the world is.
That's a little bit how I feel. So I'm glad you picked up on that. It's a little bit, I'm glad after they've been wrong for 2 months in this meta, I can just link in my article and it'll change the meta game all over.
That's true. You can also be super right. But for what it's worth, Reinforce also agreed with you. Formerly of Rogue, now of, well, we're actually not going to spoil that yet before we...
Oh, let's break it down!
Break it down. I didn't plan that segue, but it kind of happened. Let's break it down. Like I said, Reinforce, formerly of Team Rogue, agreed with you. But now he's on Team Misfits as well. Oh, God. I was not waiting for this part of the show.
At least you didn't order that Pluppy jersey for Christmas.
Oh, at least I didn't
get
that Pluppy Rogue jersey for Christmas.
Man, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But at least, it's not like an immediate trade. Oh, no, it is an immediate trade.
Yeah, I'm not even going to be able to see him play a single game while I'm wearing the jersey.
Yeah, he left Rogue before it shipped to you.
It's like in transit.
That's a shame.
I literally could not be more upset by a player leaving a team for any sport ever. I'm like legitimately upset about this because
it is what it is, right? Because you root for your team. It's not about the names on the back of the jerseys. You root for your team. Wrong. So I'm proud of you though. You're sticking by Rogue.
Wrong.
You got the jersey in the mail. You're gonna stick by your team. You're not gonna do the scummy bandwagon thing and just hop over to Misfits because I might as well, right? Like they traded.
Misfits fan today.
Like so, yeah. Wait, you're a Misfits fan?
I have a Misfits tattoo on my neck. No, I don't.
Oh.
It would have been really great if I got one though.
Should have just got a fake one. It would
have been really great if I also just like by chance ordered a Misfits jersey and just was able to take off the Rogue jersey. That gag is still, it's going to happen eventually, but
yeah, honestly, it's just getting us there, right? It's okay. I guess it's okay that you're switching favorite teams. Like I get it. It makes sense. It's a lot of like you really like the player. But as long as you know a lot about Misfits, right? Like, can you name 3-4 players that were on the team before Pluppy was?
I can name 25% of what you're asking.
Oh, man.
Zebosai was on the team beforehand.
Yeah, you're basically a Seahawks fan.
Did they win the Super Bowl last year?
No, but they're the kind of stereotypical bandwagon team.
Yeah, because no one cared about the Seahawks. No one cared about the Seahawks like a couple years ago, right?
Right. It was the Patriots that were that way, but they've been so good for so long.
People are like legitimate fans now.
Right. Like, there were literally kids born after Tom Brady took over, started quarterback for the Patriots, and like you can't hate on them too much for rooting for their local team. It's not their fault they were good. The Seahawks aren't quite there yet, so they're still bandwagon hoppers.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah, just like me and Misfits. They're going to be the best team, so like I don't feel bad. And also, for what it's worth, their jerseys look awesome, and I think the cool rabbit thing is pretty sweet too. The cool rabbit with the goggles, I like that. You just threw out there that they were going to be the best team, so I'm going to go order my Envious jersey right now since they're actually going to be the best team. Since everybody that's ever given them any sort of competition just had a major roster shakeup. Do it.
You're making a bold claim, my friend.
Well, I'm a fan of my team through thick and thin. I've been a Misfits fan all along, and I'll follow them to the death.
Solid 4 hours, guys. He's been a big Misfits fan for at least 4 hours. Can't hate.
Yeah, actually, it was about 4 hours. As of this recording, it's been about 4 hours of me being a Misfits fan. We should probably actually talk about the actual thing that happened.
A little bit. I mean, we're having a little bit of fun. We've been talking about how the fandom of real sports needs to carry over into esports, so we're trying to give you guys a little window into that and what conversations with your bandwagon hopping scumbag friends should be like they. But nonetheless, we do have a three-way trade here. Obviously, Misfits and Rogue, we mentioned Luminosity was the other team involved in this trade, and Misfits, they got the best and the worst of this, in my opinion. When I look at this, so here's what happened in the trade. So Misfits sent Skipjack and Soon to Rogue, and also they sent Crew and Hidan to Luminosity. In exchange, they picked up Tavik and Reinforce from Rogue, and Zave and Manitins from Luminosity. Now, Blevins, can you talk about what the idea behind this trade was and why the teams kind of wanted to do this? And then I can tell you.
Yeah, so what they talked about in the article and what we actually saw a little bit earlier from Misfits was that the teams wanted to kind of wipe the slate clean, dissolve their current rosters, and reform as more local teams. So if you take a look at Misfits now, they're all Swedish. If you look at Rogue, they're 80%, or they're almost entirely French, and then Luminosity is a little bit still a little bit mixed, but mostly French at this point. So the teams wanted to kind of reset and remake their teams. Instead of being a hodgepodge of different nationalities and different areas, they wanted to be more of the same.
Yeah, so now Rogue will basically be Team France. Misfits, they're Team Sweden. That's where they're from, right? Yeah. And then what was Luminosity?
Luminosity is still kind of a hodgepodge, but I think they were needed for the three-way trade. There's no way to make it 100%. There's no way to make it 100% anything. So one team, if two teams were perfect, one team had to get the hodgepodge.
Yeah, and it's worth noting Rogue's not perfect. I'm not 100% sure what DE is.
I think it's Deutschland, aka Germany.
Okay, that would make sense. I wasn't sure if it was that or like.
Or Denmark, I'm just an idiot, and I
mean, it could be Denmark, because I would think it would be like
Denmark.
GR.
Oh, it could be Denmark. I don't know.
Anyways, not a common abbreviation we see super often. Forgive us, NA brain. NA brain. So, anyways, that's going to leave us with a Misfits roster of Tavik, Reinforce, Zave, Manitins, Zebosai, and Nevix. And what I said at the beginning was that it felt like they got the best and worst of this trade. Like, they changed up their roster by far the most. They gave up 4 players. They acquired 4 players. The other 2 teams only did that with 2 players. So a really, really big switch up there. And that's what I mean when they got the worst of it, right? It's basically a brand new start over. It's like Zebo and Nevix left the team and started from scratch and pulled all these guys off their rosters. So it's
we've seen
going
not
to
work before.
Right. We've seen it not work and we've seen it work.
Yeah.
So who knows how it's going to turn out? I mean, I don't mean this when I talk about, and the article I'm going to write is going to be about winners and losers. It's not about, are the teams going to get better? It's about, did the one player upgrade? Because a player can lose in the overall of a trade when the team won. So it's definitely a mixed bag here. But when we look at just the roster itself, I mean, Manitins is a very solid player. He doesn't stand out a ton to me, but he stands out a little bit, and he plays the tank role, I believe. So it could be support. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but he's not in that classic spotlight that the Taviks and the Seagulls are in on the DPS character. So the fact that he's able to stand out from a support or a tank role is definitely a plus. Now, we also have Zebasai staying on the roster, Nevix as well. These are very top-tier players, in my opinion. Part of the reason why Misfits was so successful in the LAN environment. Zebosai and Tavik together sounds phenomenal to me.
That's what the Overwatch World Cup had.
Yeah, yeah, and it was definitely paying off for him there. So these guys know each other a little bit. That's a point I hadn't quite connected, is that kind of melding the rosters a little bit might not be a complete switch up because of the World Cup. But they've got a lot of work to do, because you've got to get now everybody on the same page, everybody calling the same plays, working towards the same goal. We might not see Misfits in a tournament for a little while.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I believe they're not in Vegas, because
They're not
NA teams. But there is the MGA Arena, I believe, in EU.
I don't know if they qualified. I'm gonna have to check now. Keep talking. I'll look it up.
So we'll have to wait and see how long they kind of handle their rework here, and how long they go into a rebuilding phase. But they're definitely going to need one. The one thing that stands out to me here, and this is not a comment on the player himself, this is a comment on my opinion on where the metagame's at, and where the player's opinion on where the metagame's at, because it's the one so far that's without a doubt agreed with me, is Reinforce was added to this team. He has been a Reinhardt-only main for the entirety of his time playing Overwatch that I've seen. The one time he wrote in his article that we talked about last week, there's a link to it in my post on our website, about how he had to move into Winston, and then they just got bodied. Like, they couldn't do anything. They're in the new meta, their old strategies were useless, and they didn't practice on the PTR at all. So now he's kind of stuck in this. Well, does he just keep going with Reinhardt? Because right now teams are still playing him. They seem to just be using the Diva as a supplement to the shield. So shield goes down, defense matrix goes up. It makes sense. It can totally still work. I just don't know that it's worth it. Like, I'm not sure Reinhardt's putting in enough work anymore. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they're able to make him work in the lineup. Maybe they're not. And by him, I mean Reinhardt. Reinforce will be fine. It's just going to take him a while to learn a new character, or get as good with a Winston, Zarya, Roadhog as he is with the Reinhardt currently. So, find our answer?
Yes. It's not. They're not in it. It's ninjas in pajamas.
Gotcha. So it'll be a little bit, I think, before we see the Misfits roster, and that's good for them, because of what I just talked about. Reinforce has some work to do. They have a lot more work than the other two teams as far as gelling as a unit again. But I do think once they are successfully caught up and on the same page, they will be back to a very top tier team. So the second jersey that you buy won't be wasted, until the team's disbanded and go ahead and in the league.
Right, until Overwatch League, at which point, like, I'm only going to be buying Overwatch League official merch, and that's probably going to be like $100 a piece, and I'm just going to be out on the streets selling popcorn tickets just to get a jersey. But yeah, 100%. And like, it makes some sense. Like, they're if you think about it as like, okay, we're going to put an investment, we're going to pay some amount of experience and skill that we had, whether or not the players that, if the current 6 from Misfits has a higher skill rating overall than the former 6, maybe they're paying some amount of skill. They're definitely paying some amount of team skill, right? Like I'm sure that old Misfits could beat new Misfits today because they haven't played together, that obviously. So they're paying some amount, but potentially for the payout in 2 months, 6 months, a year, maybe they're not thinking about that much, but in a couple of months, like you said, when they've gotten together and they start gelling as a team, when they potentially have a gaming house that they all live in and they can boot camp, whenever, because they live in the same house and they've got that infrastructure ready. And, Misfits has this, if they can build the infrastructure for their team, maybe they are thinking out 6, 8, 10 months, a year, 2 years, where, this is the starting 6. This is the new wave of Misfits. They build out the gaming house. They do what they will. But, not everyone's going to be playing Overwatch forever. Not everyone's going to be playing on Misfits forever. So they have that sort of infrastructure built. They have the team house. They have what have you. I don't know if any of this is going to happen. I'm speculating completely. But, maybe they build this out now, and they build it up, and maybe they do great. This is a solid team just from a player perspective, but, even if they don't, they build this out so that when Overwatch League comes to EU potentially in a year and a half or 2 years from now, they're ready. They have a more mature setup than some of these other teams that are kind of a hodgepodge, and they're not playing at LANs. They're not playing at, they're only playing in the monthly melees, the small level tournaments. This seems like a move that puts Misfits in a much more mature spot to be a LAN team, more specifically an Overwatch League team.
See, from that exact perspective you're talking about is exactly why I hate the trade. I mean, they were kings of the LAN environment right now. Like, until somebody beats them, when you go into a LAN, I was thinking Misfits has it. They just seem to gel the best, and they seem to be least affected by the stage, the lights, everything that comes with it.
Sure, but when you think about it from the organizational perspective entirely, like the players themselves and like the team's performance on a like tournament by tournament basis doesn't matter that much compared to having the ability to create a team that is ready for that, or take on new players that are ready for that, and to get them to that point. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe they just made a complete mistake, but
I mean, it's not a complete, like, I get what they're doing. Right now, what they've done is they've taken 4 people that used to be on this team that owned the LAN environment and sent them to direct competitors for the region, for the bracket they're going to be in, because when you have these cross-continental LANs, it's going to be an EU bracket and an A bracket. They're going to play against each other and meet in the middle. So this isn't like, this is like trading within your division. It's dangerous. You might have you sent Soon, the best tracer in Overwatch, and I don't think it's particularly close with anyone. You sent him off to Rogue, who was already your biggest competition. Now, granted, you took their best player too, but it doesn't change the fact that you've now leveled the playing field on LAN considerably when you had an advantage. Overall health of the team, I'm not talking about that right now. I
Sure.
don't mind it from that perspective, but I think they had a chance with the short run that the current competitive format was going to have, because we don't know all the details of Overwatch League. If we'd gotten more than when we talked about it for 3 episodes straight, we'd have given it to you. You don't know if there's going to be, a Swedish team week 1, season 1. We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. I know their plan overall is to make it so that they're in all the continents, but I don't know when they plan that. It gets a little harder to do, when you look at some of the rules and things that go into expansion drafts in the NFL, and the NHL is about to have one, and I'm looking at my Buffalo Sabres roster going, well, who can we designate to keep? Because you only get to designate one guy or 2 guys on your team that are untouchable. And then literally this new team comes in and just, I'll take that guy, I'll take that guy.
Really?
And you just lose people. So it's brutal, and it's a shakeup. You get to reserve people. So, the Sabres have Jack Eichel, and he's going to be here for, I don't know, hopefully I'm dead before he retires, because I just want to see them win forever. And he's the draft that year was it was like drafting Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. You just literally couldn't lose. So we got Peyton Manning, and we're just fine with it. So we're going in, and so we're going to be able to keep some of these big pieces, but your role players, so in the event, with you look at these rosters, you would expect Tavik's not going to go anywhere. They're going to hold him. They're going to hold Soon, and then I don't know who Luminosity holds. Hey, Dan, I really don't know. They're a solid team, but they don't have that.
The superstar.
Yeah, they don't have the superstar. I think Adan might be the best at his role, so let's say you hold him. And then, but you're talking about players now that can be moved, like Mineral's been a solid support. I know he's been on a couple teams, but he's been on a solid support for a long time. Same with Crew. You've got Nox, you've got Skipjack, AKM, Wins, Unco, Zebasai, Nevix, Zave, Reinforce. All these guys can just be picked up and plucked when you add new teams. So I really think the Overwatch League is going to want to launch on multiple continents and at least have some EU and NA together. And I think that they had this opportunity on the short time frame to dominate the LAN tournaments that showed up. And that's what my goal would have been. It's just, we're going to be the LAN team because we're winning all of them. And until somebody proves they can beat us, we're going to assume they're not going to. So that's personally the route I would have gone, thinking just in a year's time, everything's going to dissolve. I think in about a year from now, we'll be looking at the combine. The players won't be super invested in what the team they're signed to be playing on is doing at the moment. They'll do their requirements and they'll get out. So the window being short makes a roster move like that hard for me to swallow. Plenty of opportunity for them to just blow me out of the water and just be completely right and just level up. Like, it is a great roster they've put together.
Yeah.
Just a lot of changes. So
yeah, I think it's definitely high risk and potentially high and long-term reward. So as much as I hate the fact that my Pluppy jersey is no longer, it does still look awesome, and I do still like AKM. And it's not like I don't like the other players on Rogue. It's just they're not.
And we're closer to that meme where you're just wearing every team's shirt layered.
It's true. I have like 30 shirts on at any given time, and I'm just like, I'm an envious fan now.
Right. Yeah, and then just take that when that match ends, you just take it off. You root for another team, put it in your bag.
Yep,
be good.
It's gonna happen. I might get an envious jersey. Also, I will wear any jersey that I'm given to for free. Wink.
I don't know that you make them big enough for me, but I'll wear them if they fit.
I want a 2X if you have it. But yeah, so like it's still like we said, it's only like 4 hours ago that we found this out. I'm still internalizing a lot of it. We still haven't gotten a ton of details. I have to imagine that the teams know something about Overwatch League that we don't know, or maybe if not Overwatch League, something else big that's happening soon in the tournaments. Because like, if not, so like if we pretend that Overwatch League isn't happening, and we pretend that there's not some like big tournament series or something that would require like a very dedicated LAN team that is centrally located for some reason, then like why? Like I defer to you completely. Why did you dismantle the best LAN team that we've seen? I don't know. So
it's not like LAN tournaments have the biggest prizes. Oh no, they do.
They do have the biggest prizes, but I think that I don't know. I think that the prize pool that they win is less important for the organization. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know the exact inner workings of these esports organizations. I would absolutely love to find out.
Yeah, if anybody used to be a sponsored player on a different game or something like that, yeah, I would love insight into how the team.
I'm going to reach out to some of these owners and some of these people in this article, because I definitely want to talk to them about it, even if it's not for the show. And I just want to find out. I mean, I definitely want to interview them for the show, but I want to find out for myself. Also, I'm gonna write a crying vlog to Pluppy about my jersey. Just kidding. I won't be crying. Yes, I will. I'm not going to record it though. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about. Death, you said you're going to be writing about it more in depth. I'm going to try to write about not the exact winners and losers necessarily, but I want to write about like some of the aspects. Like this feels like real sports to me today. Like today was the first time. Like granted, we've been covering Overwatch esports for a long time. We've been watching Overwatch esports for a long time. This is the first day where it really, actually, I guess the second day. The first day that it really felt like sports is when you came over and we watched the what tournament was it? I don't know, but we had souvlaki and stuffed peppers. Yes. We had souvlaki and stuffed peppers, and it felt like a real sporting event. This is the second time that Overwatch esports has really felt to me like traditional sports.
You want to know what I had for dinner during the Bills game yesterday?
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
It was souvlaki and peppers.
Yeah, of course it was. Oh my god, those peppers are so good. But I'm like literally drooling right now thinking about it, and I just got done eating. But yeah, so we're definitely going to be talking about this more. Check out highnoonpodcast.com. Hit that blog button. We'll tweet out when the new blogs come up. But yeah, so that's oh man, there's so much to talk about. But let's move on. I want to talk briefly about season 3 of Overwatch, of competitive Overwatch, because it feels a lot better to me than season 2. Have you noticed any differences for you, Death?
No, but I can't wait to hear yours after your placement games. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even being sarcastic. Like I legitimately,
Yeah.
because you have a much different experience than I have. You've had a lot more movement, whereas I started much closer to my actual home.
Yeah. So so a little bit of reference here. Season 2, I got placed at 2,400 and something. My overall high is what I was placed at. Never once went up from there. Like immediately lost like 100 or so points from the placement, and then never was able to catch back up. Season 3 starts.
Do we have to tell him?
And I'm doing my placements with Death because, I want to get carried. My good pal, my buddy, my friend, Deathblow, and his associate, Afterthought, they got to carry me, right? Wrong.
Can't carry everything.
I did not get carried. And long story short, I finished my 10 placement games at the very...
Tell him your 8 game mark.
My 8 game mark, I was 5-3. That was my at 8 games, I was 0-5-3.
And I'm no longer playing with him after 4 of them because I was sitting there like starving, but it was the new season, so I don't care. I'm just going to play, but I'm not going to sit there and just lose forever whilst hungry.
That's what
I took a break and then just started watching your stream while I'm eating dinner, and it was just the worst. Like you, my friend, quite the gambit of skill in your games is all I'll say.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you went from like even after the 04 start, you were like still probably platinum, like high gold, low platinum tier, and then you just like plummeted and you went straight down to like silver,
straight to wood, and then dirt. And then I was at dirt.
Then dirt tier, then grill tier. I mean, it just got it went from
tier, then meme tier. I didn't think it existed. I thought it was only on Reddit. But I got into the game where no one was grouped up, but everyone like on cue started saying stupid stuff to each other, like just meme after meme after meme. I couldn't unprovoked. It was like these guys knew each other forever. They just started saying stupid Reddit memes in all chat. I had to stop. I had to mute them all. I couldn't do it. I didn't even leave the channel. I went through and manually muted every single one of them in case I ever got queued up with them again. I wouldn't have to hear them for even 1 second. It was awful. We did not win. We did not win those games.
But you didn't lose.
But I didn't lose. It was great because draws, I've mentioned before how much I love draws. I don't love draws. I would rather just concede. But I didn't have it in me because you get banned for a certain amount of time, and I wanted to play all 10 of my games. So,
and draws are his favorite thing.
Draws or whatever. I ended up 2-5-3. Show me someone else that went 2-5-3 in their placement games. I got placed at 1,897. This is lower than I have ever been. And now remember, going back to the top of this segment, I was saying how much I liked Season 3. So 1,897. I'm like, well, guess I'm done. I'm just gonna uninstall Overwatch. I'm gonna call up someone to replace me on the pod. I'm gonna call up Hex, tell Hex that he officially has my spot on High Noon Podcast. I'm just gonna go buy an Xbox 360 and play Destiny or something.
I figured I was worried we were gonna have to start up the Hearthstone podcast again.
I was legitimately thinking about it because it's funny again. But I started playing, and I was winning. Me and Solus, man. Me and Solus are the dream team. We were doing it. Actually, what actually happened was I was like, you know what? I'm playing Diva or 76 every single game, every map, no matter what. If someone tries to tell me that they're a better Diva, they better show me that they have a golden gun because I've got one now. So I'm playing Diva every time, and I'm just a decent Diva. I climbed up. I'm almost at 2,400 now from 1,894, and I've played for 2 or 3 days. I got over 70 points for a win I got.
Wow, that's big.
That was with 4 gold medals and a 3-0 on King of the Hill, 4 gold medals on a 5-game win streak. I got 70 points.
Yeah, I was going to say you had to be up over 5 games because I remember I had the 12-game win streak last season, and it was getting up there, even with just like, I mean, I heal a lot, so I don't have 4 gold medals too often. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, crazy point gains. Like, it's dizzying to look at that meter go up when you're on a nice little win streak.
Yeah, it's great. But long story short, I like this season better because of this exact point. I feel so much better playing this season right now at 2,200. Well, I was 2,200 for the sake of this. At 2,200 this season for Season 3, I feel so significantly better than I did in Season 2 going down to 2,200 versus going up that I want to keep playing and keep grinding up. It's 100% a psychological thing. I will probably end up at the exact same rank that I belong at, whether it's Season 2 or Season 3, but I'm going to feel so much better grinding up than I am going to feel falling down. And that is a significant thing, especially for people who aren't cognitively thinking about this as they're playing. I'm completely aware that it's the psychological trick on me. I know that. I still like it. I can't help how I feel. The endorphins go up sometimes and they don't go up other times. I can't control that. But I feel better. And people who aren't thinking about that are going to think that they're getting screwed over or that they are much better than they are. I know exactly whatever I end up at, that's how good I am. I know that. But some people are going to think that they're better or worse than they actually are based on how they're being portrayed with the rank going up or down. And I think that they changed it to make people feel better. And I think that overall that's going to be good.
I don't know that they changed it in that perspective. I mean, I know
they mentioned
said,
they changed something similar to that. They mentioned doing things like that.
Right. They wanted to change the way the bell curve worked out.
Yeah.
Basically, what they were saying is there's more people currently sitting at master tier than there are sitting at silver tier. That's not a healthy distribution of players across your ranking system. So there was some definite tweaks, and they did want to make a point to kind of bring people down. I just think it was sheer, I mean, just bad luck on those placement games. Like, we were in the placement games really, really soon after the season started. Yeah. So it was about as cancerous as I've ever seen Overwatch as far as people in chat and voice comms and things like that.
Except for that one girl.
Yeah, honestly, I think I might have seen worse than her this season already.
Wow.
I've had really bad luck with cancerous people. Like, literally, we got beaten like 2.5 minutes on Anubis in the one game. And I only played Mei for the second point, and I was only there for one, and we had 2 healers, but I had the gold healing medal at the end, but it was me. But it was me that was worthless. I was just the one not doing anything. So anyways, my Season 3 experience was a little bit better than that. Obviously, I started 0-4 because I had a huge weight dragging me down. But no, I mean, we were just 3-queuing. In all honesty, what I think happened was we just 3-queued, and I really, as much as anytime I play anything that's not duo queue, I just fall more and more in love with queuing with exactly one other person.
Yeah, same.
It's really, to me, and I don't know if everybody's shared this experience, it's just markedly better. I can't even believe it, how much more fun I have when it's just me and Blevins, or just me and Afterthought, or I still, on occasion, I play with iPlay games, though he likes to 6-stack. And no, thank you. But
we don't have a good enough 6 to be able to 6-stack effectively.
It's not even that they're bad. It's I don't know them, right? So, it's just going to be bad for at least 4 games, and then maybe we'll turn it around. But anyway, so I placed below. I did not place in Diamond, and I'm not currently in Diamond. I'm at 2,900 right now. I placed, I want to say, around 2,600.
I think you said 26 something.
Yeah, so I've done a good amount of climbing since then. I ended up 4-6, or like 3-7-1. I don't think I had a draw, though. I think it was 4-6. Not 100% sure. And
you literally just rattled off the next 6 after we played.
No, because 4-6. There were still 2 losses in there. I didn't go 6-4. I went 4-6.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a little bit of ground to make up, and it's been going pretty decently so far. To me, it's from my experience, it's not been any different except for I'm starting higher, but that's because there's carryover on your ranking, right? Your general MMR, your general starting placement before your placement games will be based off of your previous season. So I had a bit of a head start from the work I did last year, which was really nice. So it's nice to kind of already be there, right? Like, because I'm right now finished, or I'm currently sitting at better than I finished last season. I let myself just kind of queue with whatever and just play at the end when I decided not to go for master with, however many days left or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I have no complaints, but I'm not having like a, remarkably better experience this time around than you are.
Yeah, I feel a lot better than I did. But the one thing I will say, and we'll end it on this, is I did have someone try to use a logical argument for why they should be playing a DPS role versus someone else, which was really kind of crazy. Except that their logical argument was that they picked them first. They wanted to go attack Hanzo because they picked Hanzo first. They go, yeah, so I picked Hanzo first, so can you guys switch? I'm like, no. Like, why not? I picked him first. I'm like, because this isn't kindergarten, and it's not like... I didn't even know how to respond. He was like, no, but seriously, guys, why can't I go for, like, why do I have to choose first? I'm like, because I don't want to reward you for having a faster click finger. Like, that's not something that is relevant to me right now. It was crazy. But besides that, I've had a great season 3. I'm hoping to have an even better season 3. I still, like, even though it sounds crazy, I still want to get top 500 this season. It's not going to happen, but I want to try for it. Because I want to get in that the OW top 500 chat. I want to. That's my real goal.
I'm hoping, myself and Afterthought can get some solid playtime in this season. One of the guys on our team, shout out to Waku Boys, actually from my last team finished top 500.
Nice.
And he was a very, very good Mercy player, and he transitioned himself into a presumably very, very good Ana player. So I felt like, he was very, very good. He was potentially better at healing than me, but I do think I'm a stronger all-around player with my ability to flex to some other roles and stuff. So I kind of got like a benchmark, right? Like somebody I know I'm on par with.
Yeah.
Right. I can queue with them, not drag him down or anything like that. And he hit top 500, which gives me, whether it's false confidence or not, who knows? We'll find out soon. But it gave me some hope that I can at least, I'm not going to say I'm pushing for top 500. I'm saying right now I'm pushing for master this season, but I think if I got master, the hype would be too real and I'd probably push pretty hard. So
I am pushing for top 500. If for nothing else than the story of someone who at one point in time during the season was at an 1800, got to top 500. That's a Reddit worthy story for sure. But we are running a little bit over, so let's move on to another segment that we're continuing, because I put it in here, I guess, called Soldier Says. This is a segment where we have a little bit of advice, whether it's for queuing up in solo queue or just general Overwatch advice. It's not necessarily tied to esports, but not given to you by me or Death, the schmucks of High Noon Podcast, but instead by your favorite old man with a gun, Soldier 76. So, 76, take it over.
If the DPS rules for your team aren't working, swap them out early. There's no gold medal for pride.
Next time when you throw to Soldier 76, you should acknowledge yourself.
No.
76.
Yeah, I should. That wasn't me as 76. It was 76. He's just very rude.
And don't remember something Soldier told us previously. It's that nobody cares if you currently have a gold medal.
That is true.
Anywhere, ever, for anything. Nobody cares.
No one ever cares. And there's also no gold medal for pride. So, guys, and I had this happen before. The reason I brought this up is that sometimes you think you're a good DPS. I do this myself. But if you're not, and I'm not sometimes, just swap. Ask to swap. Say, hey, I'm not working as Farah. I'm not working as McCree. I'm not working as Soldier. I'm not working as Reaper. I'm not doing well enough because we're losing the point and I don't have the appropriate amount of damage. I'm not getting the kills. Swap out to something else. Swap out to Lucio. Swap out to a tank. Something else, and have someone else who thinks that they're confident or who is confident at playing a DPS role. Swap with them. Please, just do it. Just ask to do it. If they're not going to do it, someone on your team is statistically likely to want to play a DPS, and if you're not doing well, I would rather have them play than you. It's going to help the team. It's going to build the team cohesion. It's going to help people be on the same page. People are going to be able to empathize with you much better if you show that little bit of vulnerability. Hey, I'm not working as McCree. It's much better for you to be like, hey, I'm not doing well as McCree than them be like, oh, dude, McCree, you're garbage, swap. Like, you can have the same exact outcome or the same exact problem where you're not doing well as McCree. One of the scenarios, you bond together and strive to do well as a team. The other one, there's animosity automatically brought up and maybe the team just crumbles from there. Who knows? You put yourself in a much better situation if you realize that you're not doing well and you ask to swap.
In that vein, I found a super simple way and effective way to like encourage people to switch when you're playing. Like, so let's say you're 0-2 on a Koth map, and I wait for you're facing elimination, and all I do is, let's say I'm on Diva, and I'm just like, all right, guys, we got to get some switch ups or time for some change ups, and then just you be the first one. You change roles.
Yeah.
Because nobody's mad now. You haven't singled anybody out. You haven't said, hey, you've been garbage. I need you to switch, even though there's, at least one DPS player if we're down 0-2. And I'm thinking, man, you've been garbage. I really need you to switch.
Yeah.
Don't call him out. Don't single him out. Just time for some change ups and then leave this big gaping wound in your lineup. Yeah. Right? Like, just leave like, oh, my Lucio just switched. He's Winston now. Like, somebody has to be Lucio. Somebody will move over there. Like, if you as long as you're not a complete jerk about it from minute one. Like when the one guy, that was my fault when I had the gold medal healing on May, he's like, so can you switch because you're completely useless? And I'm like, well, since you were as big a jerk about it as humanly possible and we're gonna lose anyways, no. Just no.
Try to make it
that guy, like, trying to encourage that, discourage that behavior from people when they get asked to switch. Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah, try to make it more. Try to provide more life value to them by winning than by spiting you, if that makes any sense. Make it more beneficial for them to win the game than it is beneficial for them to spite you. Because if you're a jerk, people are going to want to spite you. And if you're a jerk, I applaud people that try to spite you. Yeah. So you officially have the high noon blessing. If someone is a jerk to you in Overwatch, spite them.
Yeah, don't swap.
Don't swap.
If you're get these League of Legends kids back into the MOBA community.
Right back the way you came. But I think it is a really good message, and I'm glad that our good dad Soldier 76 said it. But if you guys have any ideas or thoughts about what 76 should tell us and the message, feel free to tweet them at us or send them to us in some way that you deem.
What's grinding your gears this week? What do you want to hear Soldier tell everybody that you might queue with?
Exactly. But that's going to be it for today. This week, folks, we've had a nice long show with a lot of really interesting and like cutting edge of the news being broken topics. Death, you got any last minute stuff that you want to shout out or throw out or talk about?
Well, please let us know what you guys think of the drops. We have a couple new sound effects in the episode today. We pointed them out while we were playing them, so you shouldn't have had any trouble, finding them or picking them out. Even if you are a new viewer, let us know. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do we need to make new ones for that thing? Do you have any ideas? What other drops do you want to hear? We really want to up the production value for you guys, give back to you, as you guys have given us so much throughout doing the show. So please, feedback, for positive, negative. Like, you will not make us mad, or at least we will not let you know that you made us mad.
That's not true. If it makes us really mad, we'll probably call you out on the show now. Two things that I do want: drum roll and applause. Definitely applause, because I think applause can be used throughout the show. Also, just realize that if you give me the power to have a goofy soundboard, I will abuse it. So just keep that in mind.
Trolling the sounds when we go to anything. Do it up.
It's been my dream forever to just be not be a radio host, like morning sports show DJ, but to be the guy controlling the soundboard.
There is one sound we're going to have, and this is a joke nobody will get. But yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it was too good.
Also, we're just going to bring back Stump the Blevins Hearthstone edition to the High Noon podcast.
Sludge
What?
Sludge Belcher.
Tom's feel funny.
So that's some of the fun we used to have, is I would just make him do voices on the spot.
Put your faith in the light.
Sometimes he just does the extra audio cues that aren't part of the voice, and it's all the worse / better for it.
So good. But let's end it on the best segment from an old podcast. Guys, check us out over at highnoonpodcast.com, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Everything is over at highnoonpodcast.com. You can also check us out live every Monday at 7 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/theblevins. Deathblow, where can we find you, buddy?
You can head on over to highnoonpodcast.com, click on the host button, and find links to Twitch that I don't use.
And also, while you're there, make sure you hit the VODs button to check out the match of the week, and most importantly, the blog button, which we are going to be updating hopefully about once a week. I think that's a reasonable clip to say for now. Maybe more at some point, but at least now once a week. But till next time, guys, really appreciate everybody, all the patrons and stuff. Remember, check out patreon.com/highnoonpodcast to get entered to win this bad boy for free. It is a giant inflatable Reinhardt hammer. But besides that, guys, remember, it's high noon.
Got his boots and he put on his hat. He threw the coin away that same day. It's in his past and he's not looking back. He says, finding mine now, God's my way. He's not good, but he sure ain't bad. He'll make amends for the sins that he has. He says, I'll change the world one bullet at a time till I find mine.
Fluffy lip.